Hey guys, have you ever finished a game and felt a strong urge to play it again? However, replaying the same levels can be quite boring, but there's a solution: replayable games. These games feature diverse gameplay mechanics that lay the groundwork for repeated playthroughs. That doesn't necessarily mean you'll want to replay them endlessly. It all depends on the player's taste and whether they enjoyed the game overall. In this video, I'll be talking about 30 PC games with endless replayability. Starting with Hades. After leaving early access, this game gained massive popularity, and for good reason. It's a roguelike based on ancient Greek myths and gods. You play as Zagreus, the prince of the underworld, who is trying to escape from his father and find his mother. This isn't an easy task. You'll have to battle other hellish monsters and gods, and after each death, the hero finds himself back home, listening to his father's taunts. The gameplay is a moderately dynamic slasher, viewed from an isometric perspective, combined with the familiar grind of a roguelike. The replayability potential here is enormous, as each new attempt brings dozens of new dialogues, and each resurrection advances the story. Borderlands 2. This is a shooter with a storyline that's harder to quit than smoking. You can replay the game endlessly with each character without resetting skills. Gameplay-wise, it's a looter shooter where battles with various monsters are driven by a single goal: acquiring better and better weapons, of which there are millions of variants. All of this is enriched by a large world, tons of side quests, character progression, diverse enemies, characters, and 4-player co-op. Even the base version of the shooter will take up a lot of your time, and the numerous expansions and excellent replayability will keep you playing endlessly. Grand Theft Auto 5. Among all the games that can be replayed endlessly, the GTA universe stands out. Even after 100% completion, you can keep playing indefinitely, and it'll still be fun. The main attractions here are the chases, messing with residents, raiding military bases, racing, and even just cruising around the state in any vehicle. No Man's Sky. Here, the entire universe is randomly generated, 18 quintillion planets, each of which you can visit, build a base on, find rare artifacts, and discover unusual creatures. The game is beautiful in every aspect. You explore planets, trade, communicate with aliens, complete missions, fight, build bases, and fully immerse yourself in the role of a wanderer. I particularly liked that you can meet other players and visit their bases. Perhaps at some point it might turn into a grind, but I enjoyed the game's setting. It's like freedom and exploration on a cosmic scale. Rimworld. Essentially, this is a generator of diverse stories. Anything can happen here, but somehow it all comes together into wonderful tales of people struggling to survive on a distant planet, full of aggressive wildlife, space pirates, ancient robots, and bloodthirsty savages. Despite the simplicity and even occasional primitiveness of the game mechanics, the game offers plenty of room for development and a wide range of actions, and the various events triggered by the storytellers keep things from getting boring. Replayability is achieved through random events and the procedural generation of your crew members, each of whom turns out to be a unique individual with their own quirks. Deep Rock Galactic. A procedurally generated shooter about space dwarves who explore alien caves, mine valuable resources, and annihilate hundreds of bloodthirsty monsters. As the heroes gain experience and gather resources on their adventures, they improve their skills and equipment to prepare for new runs. The game boasts a strong emphasis on team interaction, fully destructible environments, an impressive arsenal of weapons and gadgets, and the unpredictability of gameplay, where you can never predict how the next run will end. This factor creates nearly endless replayability. Warframe. In this cooperative action game, you'll battle dangerous enemies throughout the solar system using a variety of weapons and combat suitabilities. The game stands out with its dynamic gameplay, beautiful graphics, well-developed parkour system, extensive upgrade system, procedurally generated levels, and a proper free-to-play model where absolutely everything can be earned in-game, including premium currency. The gameplay is presented as cooperative PvE combat, where you can play solo or in groups of 4, controlling different Tenno warriors, each with unique abilities. You'll complete various missions and raids to find ancient artifacts, equipment blueprints, and crafting materials. As you level up, new content, upgrades, and weapons will become available. The Binding of Isaac, a 2D action roguelike with procedurally generated items and rooms. Once you try it, you won't be able to tear yourself away because it is incredibly replayable. The presence of an unimaginable number of diverse items turns each run into a truly unique experience. As you collect various goodies along the way, your character transforms beyond recognition, forming different builds. But the main feature of Isaac is that, unlike most roguelike games, the combination of different items here significantly affects the gameplay, either empowering the hero or ruining the entire run. Diablo series. This iconic action RPG series essentially pioneered a new genre of games. The story, unique atmosphere, and dark fantasy aesthetics, combined with fast-paced hack-and-slash gameplay, have become the hallmark of the entire series. The abundance of character classes with many upgrade options for each, and of course, the thousands of pieces of equipment and weapons that Diablo fans hunt for day and night, have endowed the series with endless replayability. In the latest games in the series, the developers have added an adventure mode with Nephilim Rifts, which can also be endlessly explored without losing interest in the gameplay. Mount and Blade series, perhaps the best series of medieval life simulators, where you can become anyone you want, a mercenary knight or a lord ruler. Here, you are sent into the open world of the Dark Middle Ages with complete freedom of action. You can freely roam the map, traveling through numerous towns and villages. You can manage your estate, recruit soldiers in taverns, participate in tournaments, build relationships with local lords, complete various tasks, and fight in sieges of cities and castles. During battles, you'll not only fight side by side with your soldiers, but also have the opportunity to command them. Remnant series, a cooperative action game that resembles a hybrid of Borderlands and Dark Souls, a hardcore project aimed at cooperative play. You'll explore parallel universes and fight dangerous monsters. One of the game's features is procedural generation, which results in immense replayability. Each world consists of several locations that are randomly generated, so different players may encounter completely different dungeons, bosses, and enemies. Additionally, with each replay, you continue to level up your character. Elite Dangerous. In this space simulator, the entire galaxy is procedurally generated, consisting of 400 billion star systems. You can set off in any direction, choose from numerous professions, discover uncharted worlds, and even make contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. You can explore the universe solo or with other players, creating a unique adventure in the vast expanse of space. Cities, Skylines. One of the best city-building simulators. The game incorporates the best elements from other similar games, and Steam Workshop support extends its replayability for a very long time. Despite the simple goal of building and managing your own city, you'll face a wide range of challenges on your path to success. Special attention should be given to the detailed aspects of the game management, construction, statistics, and object visualization. Darkest Dungeon series, a hardcore turn-based RPG in the roguelike genre that plunges you into a dark and brutal world filled with various monsters, where there's no room for mistakes. Darkest Dungeon isn't a game where you play as a knight in shining armor slaying hordes of monsters. Instead, it's a game where your character might die from a poisonous cut or a missed attack at a crucial moment. You'll fight alongside outcasts, facing not only dangerous monsters but also battling diseases, hunger, and stress. The game features a large number of randomly generated dungeons and random in-game events. There's a solid roster of characters from different classes, each of whom will inevitably face permanent death sooner or later. The Elder Scrolls, Skyrim. This game leaves you alone with a massive fantasy world and allows you to explore it however you like. While there is a main storyline, you can set it aside at any moment after the prologue and do whatever you want. The open world, charismatic and interesting characters, unique events, complete freedom of action, and a plethora of user mods make this one of the most replayable games. Battle Brothers. This is a simulator where you manage a small band of medieval mercenaries who hunt monsters, gather money and artifacts, and complete various quests in a world without a central storyline. The game takes place on a procedurally generated world map with real-time movement. The main goal of the game isn't to save the world, but simply to amass wealth and fame for your small army. You can recruit up to a dozen characters into your band, with a few more kept in reserve. Battles are turn-based, with each character having action points to spend on movement or attacks. Characters gain skills based on their equipment. Overall, this is an engaging strategic RPG with tons of replayability due to random generation and abundant tactical possibilities. Dead Cells, a successful blend of roguelike and Metroidvania genres, where you'll do a lot of platforming, slashing enemies, leveling up your character, wandering through procedurally generated dungeons, dying often, returning to the beginning, and replaying over and over. The combat system is simple, with 2 slots for primary weapons and 2 for secondary items. Each has numerous variations that can be unlocked by finding blueprints. The game is designed for you to spend a lot of time in it, enjoy it, and keep coming back. There's no mandatory storyline to progress through in order to unlock key mechanics. Instead, the game offers a cycle of deaths and resets, creating perfect conditions for multiple replays. Urtuk, the Desolation. An intriguing mix of RPG, turn-based strategy, and squad management simulator with roguelite elements. If you're a fan of these genres, don't miss this one. The combat mechanics are deep, the setting is appealing, and the large number of playable races and mutations that significantly modify characters ensure the game has very high replayability. X3 Reunion. In the 3rd installment of this space simulation series, the number of sectors exceeds 160, with the key features of gameplay still centered around freedom of action and an economy driven by hundreds of NPCs who monitor supply and demand, replenishing factories when there are shortages. You have the opportunity to become the owner of your own production facilities. You can hire or purchase a large transport ship, dock at a shipyard, buy the station you're interested in, deliver it to the desired sector, and set up a factory there. This way, you can build an entire trading empire. Additionally, the game boasts stunning graphics, sounds, and music, as well as high replayability. All of this comes despite a steep learning curve. You'll likely find yourself frequently Googling guides. Crusader Kings 3. Essentially, this is the Game of Thrones, or what happens when you mix a grand strategy, role-playing game, The Sims, and interactive cinema. In the best traditions of Paradox Interactive, deep, replayable, and stylish. The game is incredibly varied and can easily consume thousands of hours, with each playthrough being a unique story that could be made into a movie or shared with friends with a smile. Prison Architect. A solid simulator for building and managing a prison with a considerable set of gameplay mechanics. There's a ton of content here, allowing you to experience the role of an architect and manager, controlling every aspect of prison life down to the smallest details. If you're a fan of games with micro and macro management and aren't put off by pixelated graphics, this game should be right up your alley. Risk of Rain 2. The first Risk of Rain was a side-scrolling roguelike where you explored the world, fought, died, revived, and set out on new adventures. The game's outstanding replayability and vast selection of gear made it highly popular. The second installment offers more of the same but in full 3D. After landing on a dangerous planet, you, either solo or with friends, will exterminate waves of monsters, collect loot, level up heroes, and race towards the finish. Each run presents new challenges and experiences. Spore, a great game with a tragic fate. A poor launch, broken promises, and a few other minor issues cast a long shadow over the game. However, over the years, it gained love from the community, though it wasn't enough to save the franchise from oblivion. Despite the fact that instead of the promised life simulator in a vast universe, we got a collection of fun minigames with a very cool editor, Spore remains a unique game. The crown jewel of the game is its editor for all sorts of things, from animals to spaceships. It's flexible, easy to master, and very fun. For instance, if you add an extra limb to your creature, it will immediately start inspecting it and, incredibly, use it correctly throughout the game, no matter where you place it. You can even complete the game as a worm with nothing but a mouth and an eye. It's genuinely fun and very replayable. Slay the Spire, one of the best card-based roguelikes. There's no superfluous mechanics, everything is in its place, yet the game is quite easy to learn. The replayability here is excellent, practically endless. Each character has a unique set of possible cards and about a dozen different builds with their own nuances. The role of randomness is minor, although sometimes not getting the right cards or artifacts for your build can significantly complicate or even ruin a run. Don't starve. Sandboxes and roguelikes with random levels, enemies, and items are a simple recipe for creating a game with high replayability. Unlike its genre predecessors, Don't Starve has a storyline. The hero explores a vast world, gathers resources, battles monsters, and builds structures for survival. Farms, walls, and fires. The latter is the most crucial structure. Light is the only salvation from the shadows that wander in the dark, looking for a victim. To escape them, you need any source of light, a torch, a fire, or even fireflies. Otherwise, death is guaranteed. It's frustrating when you survive for 40 days and then, by some silly mistake, forget to craft a torch or get killed by a bee. But with each playthrough, you learn from your mistakes and play better and better. The longer you survive, the more different characters you unlock, motivating you to start all over again. FTL, Faster Than Light. This game will captivate you for hours, with replayability off the charts. Thanks to its open engine, mods will continue to extend its life for a long time. If you manage to master the micromanagement of your crew, learn to plan your ship's development wisely, and control your crew in almost hopeless situations, the game will generate a plethora of interesting scenarios, keeping you hooked. Plus, new ships with different playstyles gradually unlock, adding variety to each run. Dungeon of the Endless. This game is most reminiscent of Faster Than Light, equally engrossing and hard to put down until morning. It offers high replayability, with a variety of heroes and capsules to choose from. The random elements of the game don't become an issue when you plan your actions wisely. The endless universe reveals itself from a different perspective here, which is also captivating. The gameplay constantly forces you to make choices. Should you open one more door to gather more resources or play it safe and move on to the next level? Even after repeated failed attempts, you keep coming back to try again. There's a certain magic to this game. Kerbal Space Program, a sandbox with absolute freedom in creating rockets, planes, rovers, and more. The game is incredibly replayable and not easy to master, but once you do, you'll learn how space travel and orbits work, how challenging and interesting it is to dock spacecraft, calculate flights, solve in-flight problems, and much more. The game also supports a huge number of interesting and well-made mods that only enhance and expand the experience. The Sims. The Sims series is the most popular life simulation game series, and for good reason. Perhaps no other game has come as close to simulating the life of an ordinary person. In The Sims 3, an open city was introduced, allowing players to freely explore while every resident went about their daily routines. Thanks to the excellent interactivity of the game, virtual people could engage in hundreds of activities. Many objects could be interacted with in numerous ways, which were unlocked as The Sims improved certain skills. Therefore, all the residents in The Sims were busy with different tasks and could be anywhere, doing anything. The most significant aspect is the relationship dynamics. Players can form any kind of relationship with other Sims. Friendship, rivalry, love, marriage, and more. Sims are born, age, and die. Each virtual person has their own needs that must be met to keep them happy, including hunger, hygiene, mood, social interactions, and so on. And then there's the character editor, where you can recreate any appearance, making The Sims a powerful and endlessly replayable life simulator. Kenshi. It's a role-playing sandbox that boasts a gigantic, seamless open world of over 870 square kilometers. In the game itself, you will take the role of an ordinary person who does not have superpowers and is not chosen. He just has to survive while trying to find his place. The developers paid special attention to the game world. It lives regardless of your actions. Ideally, you should build your base, hire warriors, and sit on the throne like a king, but in reality, the character can die of thirst, fall into the trap of cannibals, or become a dinner for predators. The world of Kenshi is cruel, and it is very difficult to survive in it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my list and found a new game for yourself. Let me know in the comments which of these games became your favorite, or if there was a game you felt was missing from this list. See you in the next video.